Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I go over all things related to living in Calgary. Today I'm going to be taking you on a step-by-step guide on how you can purchase a home here in Calgary. My name's Nada. I'm a licensed realtor with eXp Realty, but before I was in real estate, I actually purchased my first home without my license, and let me tell you, it was a really confusing process. Now it is literally my job to help people buy and sell real estate, so I'm going to take you through each step and we're going to really dig into detail here and get a lot of clarification on what you can expect along the way. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do in your home buying journey is get a pre-approval. You can do this through a mortgage broker or a bank, but I usually suggest going through a mortgage broker because what they do is they talk to multiple banks and they can give you a ton of different options and terms to look at in order to help you find the best thing for yourself and for your own situation. Pre-approval is super important because it'll help set expectations and let you know what amount you can afford up to when looking at homes. If you're a first-time home buyer, it's also really important to talk to a mortgage broker because they will help to go over all the first-time home buyers incentives and will make you understand if any of these are a good option for you. The second step in the home buying process is to find a realtor who you like and trust. This is going to be really important because you're going to be working alongside this individual throughout the entire transaction, and you want to make sure that you find someone who really understands your criteria and what you're looking for and who you can get along with, because you're going to be with them step by step and you're trusting them to represent you. The third step in this process is that once you solidify that criteria with your realtor, they're going to create a custom search for you or handpick properties that they believe meet your criteria. And then you're going to have a look through those. You're going to select the ones that you like, and you're going to contact your realtor and let them know that you'd like to book a showing for those. I usually don't recommend going on more than 5 showings in a day because number one, you're going to feel absolutely exhausted afterwards. And number two, they're all going to kind of turn to mush in your brain and they're going to become hard to differentiate looking back on them. Step number 4 in the home buying process is to place an offer. Now, you'll do this once you find a home that you could really see yourself living in and that you really like. What's going to happen is your realtor is going to fill out a contract, and it's called a purchase offer, and you're going to submit that contract to the listing agent. Now, this contract will have many aspects to it that you'll discuss with your realtor before they fill it out. So, for example, you're going to have your purchase price on it, which is the amount that you're offering towards that property. You're also going to go over a possession date, which is the date that you plan to move into the property, and you're also going to decide what conditions you want to have on that contract. So, for example, some common conditions you might see are a property inspection, financing, or a condo doc review if you're looking at condos. You're also going to have some additional terms that you can add to that contract, such as a pre-possession walkthrough where you walk through the property. Usually this occurs 24 to 48 hours beforehand, and you make sure that everything is in the same condition as when you previously saw it, or if you asked for anything extra to be done, such as professional cleaning, or you asked for a stove to be fixed. This is that time where you would go in and verify that everything that you asked for has been done. On that offer, you're also going to have something called a deposit, which is basically a sum of money that you offer to the seller that the listing brokerage puts in trust. It usually forms about 2 to 5% of the purchase price, but the amount you give in for your deposit will completely depend on what market you're in and maybe even what that seller is looking for. Step number 5 is to negotiate. So what will happen after that realtor sends that offer over to the other side is they can either accept it, reject it, or counter offer it. So most typically what will happen is they'll counter offer, and then both sides will work together to find something that each party can agree upon. Step number 6 is giving in the deposit. So you can reference back to your purchase contract or ask your realtor what day you need to give this deposit in on if you completely forgot. And there's usually 4 methods of which you can do this by. So it's going to be bank draft, certified check, e-transfer, or wire. And then the method you can use completely depends on the sum, your personal preference, or sometimes the seller or listing brokerage will only accept a certain form. So your realtor will help clarify this with you, and so will your bank. Step number 7 is to work on those conditions. So if you have an inspection in your contract, you're booking an inspector in, you're getting that report back, you're checking to see if everything looks good. If you have financing, your realtor, mortgage broker, and you yourself are corresponding amongst each other to make sure that everything looks good from that end. And then what will happen is if you decide you're happy with all these conditions and everything looks good, your realtor will send you a waiver form. And this essentially means that you're waiving those conditions off that contract and that you're ready for the deal to proceed. Say on the opposite end of things, you're not happy with your conditions, you get the inspection report back and it looks really bad, there's a couple major issues with the property, or maybe your mortgage broker is saying something like, you know what, financing on this place isn't going to work. You're going to have your realtor send you over a non-waiver to sign, and then your realtor is going to submit that to the listing side and let them know that, hey, you know what, we're choosing to no longer move forward with this property, and you will be out of that deal. You decided to waive conditions because you're really happy with the property and everything looks really good and you're ready to move forward. The next thing you're going to do is step 9, and that's meeting with the lawyer. This typically occurs 1 to 2 weeks before possession, and the lawyer's role here is to basically deal with the title transfer and transfer of funds, and to make sure that everything stated in the contract was done out properly and that everything goes accordingly. If you don't know a lawyer yourself, you can ask your realtor for a handful of recommendations, and you can go around and see which ones rate you like and which one seems to do the best work. This is also around the time where if you're moving into a condo, you want to consider booking out an elevator, or you also want to start setting up your utilities, maybe getting a date for internet to come in, and also looking at property insurance and things like that. Step number 11 is to do your walkthrough. Now, this typically occurs 24 to 48 hours before your possession, and you want to walk through the property and make sure that it's in the same exact condition as when you initially saw it, and that anything you've asked for to be fixed or done has been done. If the walkthrough doesn't look so good, you notice maybe there's some substantial damage there that wasn't there previously when you first saw the place, or something that you've asked to be fixed has not been fixed, your realtor and real estate lawyer will correspond and help come up with a solution for this. Step number 12, and the last step in your home buying journey, is possession. Now, this is a really happy day for you and for your realtor because you finally get to move into your home and everything's done and has been dealt with. The way possession day works is that the lawyer will transfer the funds over and keys will be released once the other side receives the funds, and this usually occurs at noon or afterwards. That's the end of this video. Hopefully I helped to clarify the home buying process and I didn't bore you too much. It's important to remember that you can always lean on your realtor throughout this process and ask them any questions whenever you need to. I will have all my social media linked down below, so please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about this process or any questions about Calgary in general.